If you have a loved one with a substance abuse issue of any kind, then you probably are aware that there is some sort of trauma that they've experienced. Maybe it was when they were younger, maybe it came in a form of sexual abuse, maybe they lost a parent, a grandparent. Whatever the trauma was is irrelevant, but there probably has been some sort of trauma, and I want to bring this up. I ran across an article the other day. I even shared it to my Facebook page. It said, if you are not responsible for the trauma, but you are responsible for your healing. And this is something that I often remind the family members that do have substance abuse issues with their loved ones, that they are responsible for whatever healing that they need. Once we get into a certain age, we can't use our trauma as an excuse anymore. And I say "are" because I experienced trauma. I wouldn't say it was necessarily to blame for my substance abuse, but I did use it as an excuse. You know, there were things that I was very angry about. I'm not sure I really understood until later when I really dived into the healing process exactly how angry. I was mad at a lot of people. And the truth was is I do think that I was really mad at my mom over something. She was not the cause of my trauma at all, but for some reason I still got mad at her for certain things because I was a little kid and I didn't understand what was happening, you know, and I grew up in that way, and to be honest, I will say that I think that my mom had a certain amount of guilt over the trauma that I experienced, and that kind of fed into a lot of her decision makings, and a lot of, like, growing up, I got away with a lot more. You know, like, I was able to use that. I was treated differently. I was given a lot more excuses. She would come in and try to make everything better because I do think that she understood why I was behaving in certain ways. So, and because she felt guilty, then that kind of led to a lot of decisions that were fueled by guilt. And through that guilt, it created a sense of victimhood in myself. And I would often use my trauma as my own excuse. So, like, I'd have friends that would, you know, be mad at me, and I would give them some sob story and be like, I'm so sorry, but, you know, like, this happened to me. And when I would say that, people would actually, like, forgive me and feel sorry with me, and then we'd end up hugging, and whatever they were angry over, I didn't have to take responsibility over that, even though I quote unquote apologized, but I didn't actually have to take responsibility. And so when we have guilt and there's a manipulation, so this is a great thing for everyone to really understand, is when there are people that are using their trauma, and believe me, if they have a substance abuse issue, they use this as their own excuse for the behaviors that they are doing. But let's always remember, the healing part of the trauma, it's their responsibility. It's not yours. They just need to figure it out and not allow their behaviors to continue because we either feel sorry for them or we feel guilty or whatever thing that they want us to use. It's just an excuse. So if they are angry at you, let them be angry, but don't let that influence the decisions that you know you need to do. So this is a big part of tough love, which is, it's not that you have to be tough on them. It's that you may have to make decisions that are simply tough to do, and not act out in your own guilt can sometimes be really tough to do, because a lot of times we hear people's stories and we do feel sorry for them. And we can almost understand why they are acting in the ways that they are. And so we almost let them off of the hook until it's so bad that we've created this destructive pattern of behavior that it's really hard to get out of, because we allowed it to go so deep and so far before we nixed it and said, I'm sorry you had a rough life, but you still gotta do the right things in this world. Like, you can't behave in such manners that you're doing illegal stuff, you're crossing boundaries, you're being a victim of your own circumstance, and treating them like victims is only feeding into their poor, pitiful mindset. And I know, because I did the same thing, and it took a long time for me to understand that it was my responsibility to heal from whatever was going on with me. And so I just want to remind the family members, don't allow that as an excuse. They're going to use it against you. They're going to get angry. They're going to manipulate you. They're going to want to try to make you feel sorry for them. But it's their responsibility to heal their shit. It just is. And so allow them to heal by not allowing them to make excuses for themselves anymore. So I really hope this was helpful. I really hope that you can let go some of that guilt that you may have been holding on to, or the sense of feeling sorry for them. You don't have to feel sorry for them. You really don't. Yes, it was a terrible thing, whatever it is that they went through, but you don't have to feel sorry, and you don't have to allow that to influence the decisions that you know you need to make. So again, hope this was helpful, and I hope you have been able to let go of some of that guilt just in the last few minutes. You should. If you're still having a really hard time letting go some of that guilt or seeing how it influences you, I invite you to continue watching a lot of my stuff. I have a YouTube channel. I have a website. It's maniliconsulting.com. You can go check it out. I put a little survival guide together, and a lot of the survival guide will help you understand what's really happening, so that maybe you can let go of some of the feelings that you've been experiencing, including the anger, the guilt, the frustration, the exhaustion, the feelings of complete and utter powerlessness. And this will help. The survival guide is designed to help give you some control and power back over your life. So if that sounds like something that you really need, I would invite you to go check out my website, maniliconsulting.com, and sign up for the survival guide, or check out my YouTube channel. So anyway, hope this was helpful. Have a great day, guys.